Afternoon, guys. How's everybody? Afternoon. Sorry I got my cheat sheet. Sorry I got these goofy glasses. I'm still 60% blind, so forgive me for having to wear the stupid glasses. My name is Richard Kaufman. I'm also known as the Comeback Coach. I am a two-time top-selling author, top podcast host. Spoken around the world in all different stages, but I'm also a super suicide survivor. And I had some of you gentlemen on my show recently. They told me to come down and talk to you guys. What I want to talk about today is, I've talked to a lot of you guys today, and girls, so. And a lot of us, when we get out, we lose our mission, we lose the camaraderie, we don't have the friends anymore, we lose ourselves. And unfortunately, a lot of us, I did 23 years in National Guard and Army time. I got hurt on duty and lost my vision. So they medically discharged me, so I don't have vision, I don't have a career, and I'm no longer Sergeant Kaufman. Well, once you wrap yourself into being that thing, that rank, whatever service you're in, when you get out, you're a PFC, you're a private frigate civilian. And nobody cares about you because the military doesn't give a shit about you when you get out. And that's why I started my podcast. But I want to tell you a little bit about my story. Promise I won't go over 10 minutes, I promise. Doc will shoot me if I do, so I don't want to get beat up or get bit by shadow.
You'll do it.
But they medically discharged me Labor Day 2012. Now guys, if you guys watch my show at all, I'm the worst soldier you'll ever gonna meet. 8 Article 15s, which is 2 field grades. I got thrown out for being a drug addict and an alcoholic. I got back in, which is rare. And I almost got thrown out again for being an asshole. But 9/11 totally changed my life. And I got back in, they kept me, and I went from E0 to E5 in 3 years. I went from worst soldier to soldier of the year in 3 years. But the reason why I'm saying that is, I did everything I could to be Sergeant Kaufman for the next 23 years. I did everything I could. I volunteered to reclassify. You asked me to do anything, I volunteered. I was the PP checker, yeah, that was me, I was that guy. Because they asked me to do it, so I decided to do it. So I did everything I could until the day I lost my eyesight. And then they tell me, well, you're no longer Sergeant Kaufman. And that was a day that I attempted suicide. And my 6-month-old daughter saved my life then. So if it wasn't for my daughter, I wouldn't be here. But what did happen is I got help. I got therapy. I started therapy on a Tuesday after Labor Day. And that's when I started to reimagine and reinvent myself. And I think a lot of us, veterans, first responders, when you're no longer that thing, when you're no longer Sergeant Kaufman, you're no longer this, you're no longer that, well, who are you? I didn't know who Richard was. I didn't know how to reimagine and reinvent myself, so that's what I did. And that's what this whole thing about today is. I'm a master resilience trainer now. I teach people how to come back. And when I say I'm a comeback coach, I help people. Mark Callish, The Undertaker, Paul Levesque, Triple H. I've had to help a lot of guys come back from injuries and stuff like that. But what I do now is I help people reinvent their lives. So I got 5 steps you guys can do if you want to find your purpose and mission again. Number 1, what skills do you have? Because when we get out of the military, a lot of us, we go for jobs and we just put in a bunch of nomenclatures and shit on our resumes, and they look at it, their eyes glaze over, they throw it out. So make sure when you're filling out a resume, make sure you have your skills that translate into the civilian sector. Because even if you did 4 years, the government has spent over $400,000 on you for your leadership. And a lot of us don't even put that on our resumes, that we're taught to be leaders. Second, where are you now? What skills do you have now? Because a lot of us, we want to do stuff, but you got to be real and be like, well, in this day and age, if you're not computer savvy, you're pretty much screwed. But the VA, LinkedIn, guys, if you don't know about LinkedIn and you're a veteran, you get free LinkedIn for a whole year. You can take as many classes as you want for free on LinkedIn. All you gotta do is get verified on LinkedIn. And they automatically add it to your resume. So if you're a veteran, make sure you guys are on LinkedIn, building up your resumes. Your story matters. Whatever you guys have been through, like me, I turned my pain into purpose. So we all have, a lot of us, PTSD, post-traumatic, TBIs, whatever your story is, there's somebody else out struggling out there. So help somebody else that's struggling with it. Have a purpose. Because I found that if you have a purpose, you're much less likely to put a weapon in your mouth and pull the trigger. If you have somebody else depending on you, if you have a mission. Like I said, build your network. LinkedIn is great. Doc and New Jersey, amazing. Michael Wall. If you guys want to be safe, get around your brothers. Get your network, build your network, and I believe that your network is your network. So make sure that you guys get involved and build your. Like we're in the military, we had a fire team. Make sure you have a fire team in the civilian. And some of these guys that are sitting around here are my fire team. So I want to say thank you guys. The last thing I want to say is, giving back. A lot of times, like these gentlemen and ladies here, they're giving back. They have a purpose, so they're going to be a lot less likely to take their own lives if they know that somebody's depending on them and they're going to be giving back. Now, I also want to say, anybody here can reinvent and reimagine themselves. I mean, I'm a 9th grade dropout. I don't even have a GED. But I'm sharing stages with millionaires, billionaires, authors, athletes. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. And I also want to offer something to you guys. I'm not selling anything. I don't do that. If you guys want my book, it's free. You guys can have my book, which is it's my story of what not to do. And the last 2 chapters are what does depression look like? It's not what you think it looks like. And what does addiction look like? And what does it not look like? I'm 35 years clean and sober, so now I'm So if anybody wants the book, you guys can come see me. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And guys, if you like listening to the stories like Doc's and Michael's, we have a podcast. We just had Triple H on there. We just had Undertaker, Mick Foley. So if you guys like stuff like that, talking about resilience, I'll get you guys the information. You guys check it out. Thank you so much for having me.